Bonjour. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
We'll start the meeting. Is 9:05 a.m. We'll call the meeting to order. Do you want to do a roll call, please?
Sure will. District 1?
Sure will.
Here. District 2?
Here.
District 3 is here. Secretary Treasurer?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Yeah, we have a quorum. I will review and approve approval of the agenda. Did everybody get a copy of the agenda?
No. What is it?
Check your email, Kathy. I don't know if they could see that or not. We should post this like the day before for, maybe the morning.
Okay.
Because I know some people want to look at our agenda, even though there's nothing, besides the executive, we will probably won't put no names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I wanted to add something to the agenda.
Okay, is that new business?
Well, it's kind of old business.
Okay,
Wanted to see if we could get under your executive related to Veronica, newcomer down there, some legal. It's for scheduling of with the U.S. Attorney and those guys. So I wanted to get her to come in and discuss it with you guys.
She's on PTO this week, Alan.
Oh, well then maybe you guys can give us an update on that.
anything else?
Just want to add to the agenda about the cemeteries over in Pine Point there. They want to see if we can get somebody to lift up some of the stones that are sinking in the ground. There's a lot of Vietnam vets there and World War I, World War II vets that don't have no stone at all. Some of the families haven't been there for years, I guess, so.
Okay. Raymond?
Yeah, I just want to add, our cemetery is getting pretty full, and I've been asking it for a while now about getting fencing up around the new part of the cemetery, because we'd like to start using it as soon as possible, because we're running out of space in there. We got no place to really put in anybody, but as soon as we can get a fence up around there, we can start using that.
Okay. Kathy?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Can we add the Little Earth, the Early Learning Center lease?
Early Learning Center?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember we discussed that last year? We just renewed it. I thought we renewed that for 3 years or something like that, but apparently not, huh?
Oh,
No, I think that was for some other offices in there. I don't think that was for the Early Learning Center.
Oh, okay.
But now, you guys were gonna put that, I got a letter from the chairman there about that pure
Oh.
bliss or something.
Yeah.
did you get that? We drafted a letter. So, yeah, Pure Bliss, that ranch over here in Robin,
They're planning.
they are planning a big music festival for June 5th and 6th.
Oh.
So we drafted a letter, and I didn't even bring it down. I emailed it, a copy to you though.
What are our actions gonna be on that? And we're just gonna tell them that they have to get a permit from us and we're not gonna issue them this year?
Well,
Well, I know it would be in violation of the state
Yeah.
executive order.
and I think the county has to step in there too, because I don't think any of them guys are tribal members.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's in Monoma County too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Which, right.
And just to let everybody know, they got, COVID-19 testing up here tomorrow from 9 to 10:30 in the morning at the Rice Lake Community Center and the parking lot.
All right, motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Ray, second.
Yep.
Second by Umsey, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion carries.
With the additions.
Yeah, with the additions of the added, new items. All right, a review and approval of the meeting minutes from 5/7/20 to 5/12/20.
Mr. Chair, on 5/7 on page 1, I just wanted to clarify this. It says that on the first page there, for the meeting minute correction, the initial statement read that the RBC will not look into purchasing protective equipment for employees from out of state. However, it has been changed to read that the RBC will order from U.S. providers. I think a more accurate statement there, Mr. Chair, would be the statement read that the RBC will not look into purchasing protective equipment from China due to concerns with fraud and inadequate protection. And I think that was the essence of what we were talking about. So I would like to make that change there on that first page.
Did you get that, Maria? Okay. Liz, what time is that phone call today with the White House? Was it 2 or 3? Did you get that email?
What's up?
That phone call, is it Teller Fish again?
I didn't get that.
I sent that to you.
Did you?
Cause you gotta, I didn't even register for it yet. I gotta,
Usually I throw them on my,
yeah, I'll ask,
It's at 2 Eastern time, I think, their time.
oh, you got that, Ray?
so it'd be 1 o'clock our time.
Yeah, I got,
Okay. Did you register
that
for
was
it?
at 1 o'clock. I'm not sure though, I'll have to look at it again.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at it when we go on break here, so I'll email it to Liz and she'll get it out to everyone, so. All right, a motion to approve the meeting minutes for 5/7 and 5/20 of 20. Or 5/7 and
Motion.
5/12, I'm sorry,
With the changes,
with the changes.
motion.
Motion by Umsey,
Second.
Second by Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Calendar review. Anybody have anything other than on the calendar? Do you want to meet next Tuesday or next Thursday? Anybody have any?
Let's do this.
What do you think, Holmes?
I don't care, either one.
You guys have any preference, Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday,
Thursday?
like Thursday.
So we have our RBC regular meeting.
Oh, that's next week, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, guys, we have a regular meeting next Friday, our regular monthly meeting, so we'll have to get some, Maria will work on that, getting maybe some director reports on there and maybe a IHS, report too from Dan Fry. I know, their new, CEO is gonna be starting here on June 7th or right around that time. What's her name, Miss Clark, I think?
Oh, the chicks up? The one with.
Yeah, but we'll get Dan, I did talk to Dan and he said he'd be willing to do a quick update for us, so until the.
Dan will?
Dan
Okay.
Fry. So he'll do an update next Friday and then, yeah.
Can we have Dennis Jackson on there too from housing?
Yeah, he'll do his report.
Oh, okay. I just want to question, I talked to him yesterday, we had, they didn't call it an OD, but, it was considered an OD, but Clearwater County said it wasn't. In our town, that died 3 times. They said it was an OD, so, but, I'd just like to say, I get a lot of complaints up here, we've never really had anything like this up here. And I'd like to see if we can get some of these people removed out of these houses that are dealing them. I was talking to him and he said it don't take much, Ray. He said, something like that, we could get him out with a police report.
All right,
But I just wanted more info from him. He said he'd do it at the meeting.
yep. Yep, if they're selling drugs, they shouldn't be living in our houses, so.
Yeah. We got too many young kids losing their lives, so we gotta start ramping it up there somehow.
Yeah. All right, next up on the agenda is the White Earth Urban Community Council. They have a resolution.
So did we approve both meeting minutes then?
Didn't they quit?
Yeah, with the changes, remember?
7th and the 12th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What's that, Kathy?
How many do you have on White Earth? I thought they quit.
What's that?
Community Council.
No,
Yeah, up and running.
they're up and running. I know Richard Hanks and, who else is
Danny Sinclair's but still back on there yet, and
who are the new ones you got?
Okay.
just Richard Hanks, I think. and-
He's the only one that I've heard.
Yeah,
That's there's one more. All right.
Jim Sinclair's on there, I think. and-
Hello?
Yeah, Kat,
Okay.
we're,
The
we're,
phone went dead.
we're just looking at this, resolution by the Urban Community Council. They're requesting some funds, I think, from us, so. Did you see that?
How much?
Shar on. I sent her the number this morning.
Shar, are you on the phone? Or anybody from the Urban Community Council?
No, it's not.
You know, I think
Maybe she
that,
wasn't gonna call until directly at 9:30.
yeah, I think that we have to treat them all equally. I think
You need her number?
if we're gonna
I
give
agree.
one amount, then we have to give them all an amount. So,
Well,
Alan, we did send her the call-in number.
they're requesting $25,000 to be allocated from the 1 million, so financial relief fund approved by the, in order to purchase supplies, personal protective equipment and food for distribution to urban tribal members.
Anything to do with this? I didn't get that letter.
Oh, the Urban Community Council is requesting 25,000 of that humanitarian $1 million humanitarian fund that we had this past winter, last fall, and they're looking for some money or some junia to get some equipment, health equipment for their urban for our urban band members. So, but so that's something that I don't council. I mean, the rest of you guys have to chime in on this too. So I know they sent the resolution here requesting for $25,000 out of that $1 million, and I know that money was third party money. So I mean, we can use it towards health stuff, health related purchases, but we can't just use it to buy stuff like give them gift cards and stuff. We can't do that. So this has to be really kind of specific on what they're.
Well, is there a budget attached?
There's no budget attached to this. They're just requesting money to buy stuff, and maybe that's the next step is we could ask them we can ask. Oh, there is a budget. Okay.
Oh, it must not have a copy.
Shall I read the resolution?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna go down to the third whereas.
Okay.
The White Earth Urban Community Council is responsible for promoting the health, welfare, and quality of life for existing and future White Earth members of the Twin Cities urban community. And whereas the White Earth Urban Community Council has been closely monitoring the progression of the COVID-19 virus across Twin Cities and the threat it poses to our elders, homeless community, and medically compromised tribal members. And whereas the White Earth Urban Community Council has been working continuously to determine the risk to tribal members and was recently informed that a White Earth tribal member passed away in Minneapolis from severe complications of the COVID-19 virus. And whereas the White Earth Urban Community Council hereby finds that in order to protect band members from the deadly threat of the COVID-19 virus, more resources are needed to properly address the pandemic, and additional assistance is requested from RBC. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the White Earth Urban Community Council hereby declares, on behalf of the White Earth Urban Community Council, public health emergency in the Twin Cities as a direct result of the COVID-19 virus. And be it further resolved that the White Earth Urban Community Council requests tribal staff and property resources in order to support the COVID-19 resource efforts for urban tribal members. And be it further resolved that the White Earth Urban Community Council requests they be authorized by the RBC to apply for available grants to sustain the COVID-19 emergency response efforts. And be it finally resolved that the White Earth Urban Community Council requests additional financial assistance in the amount of $25,000 to be allocated from the $1 million COVID-19 financial relief fund approved by the RBC in order to purchase supplies, personal protective equipment, and food for distribution to urban tribal members. It was voted 3-4-0 against and 1 silent.
Well, I mean,
And they did have a budget attached to it?
yeah, right here. I know some of the items they're gonna have to take out there, like this.
On their budget, they have personal protective equipment, $60 and 150 of them. It comes to $9,000. Gift cards, they'll have to take that off of there. Gas cards, they'll have to take that off of there. Stipend, $500 for 5 of them at $2,500. I thought the stipends were only to go to once a year thing, weren't they? And security, $150 for one security guy. Sanitizer dispensers, $25 for 150 of them. And utility assistance, $100 for 50. That's $5,000.
I know, I talked to Pat
Mr.
Butler.
Chair,
Yes, Al.
hey, could you guys, forward that on over to Nicole and them guys so they can take a look at what's permissible and what's not permissible, and then maybe bring it back to the regular meeting? Just have them work with Shar and them down there?
Yeah, that's what we'll probably have to do, because if we do this for the urban, we'll try to do it for all the communities. I know that we all kind of treat them all on the equal, so, I mean, that's something that we'll have to bring to that committee to look at what we can do and can't do. So, I mean, that's something we'll bring back on next Friday's meeting. And we'll remodify that budget, or, you know, we'll have maybe a amount that we can give to each community council for personal protective
That
equipment.
sounds better.
Yeah.
I did talk to Pat about that, and she said that
I
personal
just gonna say,
protective
this
equipment
table out until next Friday.
has to be
Hi.
FDA approved. So they can't just purchase like these,
Yeah.
that's not allowed.
Yeah, Shar, it's Mike.
Hi, this is Don calling.
Oh, Dawn.
Oh, hi, Don.
Hi.
Yeah, well,
I'm trying to watch you guys on YouTube. Can I talk? I'm not sure.
yeah, you can have a talk for a little bit here.
Okay. All right, I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know, this is the first time I've had to use this, by a phone, and it just seems really confusing compared to Zoom meetings. Anyways, for our understanding, you know, and how do we get creative in using funds that we're really limited to, how we use them? And we were, you know, really trying to figure out ways that what and how we can reach our people and how to provide for them in a way during this pandemic. This pandemic doesn't only affect us physically. There's a lot, you know, it does affect us, doesn't only affect us physically, but it affects us in a lot of different ways, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So again, to find that balance of the whole, how do we find those different things that may be little things, but make up a whole that really provide for our people? And again, we know that we have a large amount of White Earth Urban Community members down here. Yes, we already know all that. So yeah, excuse me, we need to figure out a way how to meet needs. And to me, food, providing like fruits and vegetables, that would be a way of keeping our physical health up so we can fight against this immunity. Figuring out ways to get maybe vitamins so we can fight against this and build up our immunity of this virus. So, you know, that is like an example of getting creative. How else do we get creative? I think about, you know, when we purchase masks from our own people who actually have the skills and take that protectiveness because they're putting in a lot of thought and love into building that and knowing it's going to our elders and to our people. So helping provide for them to keep protected so that they can provide for our people to be protected, and yet giving back like to them and helping them. So it kind of, you know, comes full circle. So I do understand that when we asked, you know, we just kind of threw something, you know, together and trying to figure this out and how to differently provide differently. We look at our people, not everybody has a car. Not everybody has a car that can easily come get us. Not everybody can easily call somebody up and say, hey, can you take me over there to pick up that stuff? So we still need to be able to provide some way to get transportation and getting that our supplies and everything else out to them. The other thing is that we look at some of us in regards of how we are taking the risk also ourselves in providing for our people, but we continue to do that. And I think that was where the stipends came in, and was looking at just giving them some type of relief. So I'm just thinking, I'm trying to remember that budget because I don't have it all in front of me. But again, this was the time when you first got that first million, and we are very aware that you did get another tribal council, Whiter tribe to get another stimulus, and not knowing if that falls under the same of how we need to use. But I'm requesting, our Whiter Urban Council is requesting them to please work collectively with us. And yes, everybody, every community council, and having a balance of receiving these different types of money so we can be creative in how we actually reach our people in a good way. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Mayor,
Mitch.
this is Secretary Roy. I do want to say that I agree with you that we should be working with our community councils and making sure that, you know, we're helping out in creative ways and fighting this COVID together, because we are partners and we are in this together. Miigwech.
Miigwech, guys. Don, it's Mike.
Hi.
Yeah, we're gonna send the budget to our cognitive, what do they call them? The
Continuity of government.
Yeah,
continuity of government, and they'll look at the budget and they'll look at
what's permissible and what's not.
yeah. So, but we'll have it ready to go next Friday for the Friday's monthly meeting, okay, Don?
Okay, so you'll be sending that out to us then also, and then maybe someone will be available to help us, some of us understand if we're not quite understanding and what that looks like.
I'll have Liz call you.
Okay, so she'll be calling our chair.
Yeah. Thank you, Don.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, miigwech.
Yeah, miigwech.
All right, next up is Tom Bement, Adam, and Michael Triplett, Industrial Hemp.
Turn it on. Tom? I sent it to him. Maybe they're not gonna call until closer to their time.
Okay, we can do some of these,
I just sent him a text to call him.
do some of these signature requests.
See remember we were talking about the paving,
Cola?
Cola? Yeah, what was it that, is it the front
Yeah, just the approach going in there.
approach? Okay,
I drove out there and checked it out.
yeah,
Looks like the road department must have went and did a little work there, put some gravel in there and level it off some. So this Whitewood Community Council resolution has been tabled until,
Yeah, until next Friday,
okay,
till we get it over to continuity of government.
Tom's gonna call him.
Okay. So what's the recommendations in here, Liz? The recommendations to the hemp? I know Al talked to them too, but.
I think they're still talking, I don't know, they're talking about planting, but I was always under the impression that the tribe wasn't going to, that we weren't moving that way, but
Well, when I talked to him about hemp, I just said that we need to get something in, we gotta do something economically.
Yeah.
We're kind of just stuck at,
Yeah.
we have all our eggs in a basket of gaming, and look where we're at now, we're shut down. We've gotta have some type of light to, follow anyways, if we're gonna move as a tribal entity into a different economic path. I said, we have to look at something, there's something.
start somewhere.
Yeah, and it's not that expensive to explore. And I think it is on the horizon, hemp, and of course, medical marijuana, all that stuff is there, so. I want to hear about it. I mean, I know that I want to get a small plot in at least.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, Tom.
Morning, Tom. You got the floor.
How's everyone?
Good.
Oh, I got the floor?
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about your,
Okay, well,
Is Adam
I'll
and
start
Mike
with,
also gonna call in?
yeah, Adam and Mike are supposed to be calling in as well, but I think they were waiting for 9:45.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Mike.
Okay, Mike's on as well.
I don't have Adam's.
Hang on 1 second, everyone.
I don't have Adam's contact.
This is Angie Big. I finally just have been able to get through.
oh, she's an urban.
Oh, Urban.
And we just talked to Don a little bit about the information that the Urban Council sent, and we're gonna have the continuity of government budget team look at your guys' budget. We'll have something back for the Urban Council at our next Friday's monthly meeting. Ange?
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
Yep,
me good.
thank you.
Yeah, me good.
Good morning.
Shar?
Hi.
Oh, hi, we just got done talking to Don, Angie, what we did is that the council, we sent your budget, and we're gonna send your budget over to the continuity
Of government.
of government to review the budget and review some of the language in there. And we'll have it more,
Okay.
we'll have more information on next Friday's, monthly meeting. We'll have some stuff for you, okay?
Okay, on this coming Friday?
Yes, upcoming,
Next
next Friday. That'll be our monthly meeting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my phone was dead and there was no way I could get to you. I apologize, no disrespect. So, was Angie able to read the resolution then?
Yeah, we had Umsey read the resolution to, on YouTube Live here, and also we had Don talk for a bit too about the need for the urban community, our band members down there too. So we're gonna review it, and we'll have some information for the community councils on next Friday.
Oh, Miigwech.
Thank you, Sean.
And thank you, team. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me good. You go up a minute. Good.
And I want to thank you, Shar, for taking time out of your day for calling me. Good.
Oh, I really appreciate you guys and the support that you've given us. Have a great day.
You too. Stay safe.
Tommy, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Are you waiting for Adam, or do you want to lead it off?
Well, it would be nice if Adam was on the call just for the egg side, but I suppose we can go and get started. So first things first, do you guys have any questions on anything hemp related?
Well, I know that our conversation, my conversation to the economic development team about it, and I know Alan chimed in on it too, and later on, but I'm just, talking to Umsey about it, and and I asked Liz, do we have a plan then? Do we have anything? What are we gonna do?
Okay, so kind of where we're at with this, as you guys all know, we signed into a contract with Red Crow Hemp with Richard Tallbear. The COVID stuff kind of put us a little bit behind. What the plan was, and let me just pull up my document here, hang on 1 second. And I think this is where the hiccup is coming from the hemp board, is that when we contracted with Richard Tallbear, one of the main things he was going to do was develop a tribal hemp plan for the submission to the USDA for the 2020 grow season, and then also complete a budget for the project. And I think what happened was the Red Crow Hemp kind of got ahead of itself, and a plan was never officially put into place and submitted to USDA. And it sounded like we kind of skipped a couple of steps. COVID hit, and now we're I think Richard with Red Crow Hemp is wanting to plant right now without really having an official plan in place. And I think that's what is making the hemp board a little nervous right now, is kind of attacking this without a real set plan in place and scrambling just to get something in the ground for 2020. So I think that's where some of the nervousness from the group comes from, is that jumping into a huge investment without having a plan officially in place, kind of winging it, so to speak.
Well, Tom, don't you have to have a plan submitted to the USDA before you can plant anyway?
Yes, to my knowledge, yes, and that's why I wish Veronica and Adam were on the call, because they've had more background with the hemp than I have. But yes, that's my understanding that a plan needs to be in place. I'd have to go back and look through some of my correspondence with Richard of how he's going around this. I know his thoughts are he's ready to go, he's ready to plant. He just needs the investment from White Earth, which is roughly $45,000 to get the seeds or the starter plant. And again, that's where the reservations on our side is coming from. Is like, well, we haven't technically seen the plan yet, if it's good to go. And I know Veronica laid it out quite nicely in her legal part of the memo that was submitted from the hemp team, talking about past work that the tribal council was going to do and some of the things that were hold ups there, you know, with some of the hold ups. I think it was giving up some of the sovereign rights to the states, and that's kind of what Richard was telling us he was going to be doing, and working with a foreign investor or something. I'd have to go back and look at the documentation again. So yeah, as to how Richard got to where he's at today, I'd have to go back and look at the documentation. But it sounds like he's ready to plant. It's just needing that initial investment from White Earth of it's approximately $45,000 for the starter plant. And his when you look through his budget quickly, there's an opportunity to make a profit. If everything goes right, that's the first thing Adam will say. As long as everything goes right, you know, we should show a profit. It's just that we don't really have a plan in place of, okay, who's going to be doing the planting, who's going to be doing the maintaining, who's going to be doing the harvesting. You know, we just don't have a lot of those details just yet. So it seems like what Richard wants to do is get the seeds in the ground and get started, and then kind of develop the plan as we go, which is a little worrisome.
Yeah, but we did this.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mike, sorry.
Oh, because we approved this way back in April, didn't we, Hans? Or was it March? I mean, there should have been.
If this is going back to the original Richard, when Richard introduced himself to the RBC, I think at that time what was approved was for him to put a plan in place. I think that's where we kind of got steered in a different direction, was we didn't get the plan done in time.
No, I thought they approved the whole thing there on quarterly meeting in March or Pine Point.
I did too.
I guess we'd have to go back and look at the notes on that. Like I said, it's something that, you know, the hemp committee is not opposed to. It's just that it's going to require an initial upfront, you know, like I said, roughly $45,000 to get the plant planted, and that's not necessarily counting any of our labor costs or anything. So there's going to be an initial investment that's going to have to happen in probably the next, I would say 7 days tops, to get those seeds here and get them in the ground, you know, the first part of June.
Just gotta put them in the ground.
So Tom, it's Al.
So I think it's.
Hey, can I get a copy of that memo that says some of the concerns that hemp committee has here? And then I'd also like to see it. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, so you're saying that he was supposed to put together a plan before we start planting, but now he's recommending we start planting before we have a plan? Is that what he's saying?
That's where I'm a little confused, to be honest, Alan. We were supposed to put together a plan for the USDA and get that submitted. Hang on one second, let me pull up my documentation again. I have these tabs open here.
Did you get that?
We were supposed to get the plan put together and submitted for White Earth for the 2020 grow season. And to my knowledge, that never happened. And that's where specifically Veronica and Adam are having kind of troubles with this, is that we never got the plan in place. But I'm not sure what, Richard has some things, he's done this in the past, so he might be going through his own plan. He might have submitted his own plan for approval. We're not sure about that. But his claim is that we're ready to go, ready to plan. However, we have not put together a White Earth plan. And I'm going to send you guys all that memo right now. Hang on one second.
If he puts it in his own plan.
I'm
how
sorry,
does
Mr.
that
Chair,
work?
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, Mike. I think you were gonna say something.
I just wonder why they didn't wait. Are you
Did you guys get that memo from Tom on that hemp stuff?
work with them.
I don't know why they're not sitting.
He's gonna say he's just gonna email it to us, so, yeah.
So that
I cut the chairman off there. I didn't mean to cut him off there.
No, you didn't. I mean, I'm just.
Okay, everyone, I just emailed that memo that was put together. I'm sorry, I had sent it to Maria. I thought maybe you guys had copies of it already, so I apologize for not getting that to you.
Yeah,
we have copies in our package
we
here,
have
Tom,
it.
but these guys,
Okay.
these guys calling in don't have it, so.
Okay, well, I just,
Mike, what do you wanna do?
Well, I'd like to see a crop put in the ground, but if there's no permits or whatever we have to have, I mean, it's just like,
Can somebody get a hold of Tall Bear and have him get a plan in place, or?
we could reach out to him, Umzi, and just find out where exactly he's at. Like I said, I think if we're gonna put plants in the ground, the thing that we're gonna need first is a $50,000 commitment to buy the starter plant.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of step one, if you want to get, so we have to make sure that we're committed to that $50,000. And I know we've kind of talked, this was one of the things on our quote unquote wish list for that Scott Ahmed was requesting. I don't know if there's a way we can incorporate the hemp starter plant into the CARES money. There are studies that show that, the CBG is effective in slowing the spread of COVID and things like that within our body. So maybe we tie it in that way. But like I said, other than that, I think Veronica said it best when she said she's willing to plan. She would just rather do it on somebody else's dime if we're kind of going in not 100% prepared.
Well, Tom, this is Ray. Is it possible to have that
Ray.
ready by next?
it'll be too late to plan.
Our end,
Mhm.
I think we can technically get plants in the ground in our past conversations with Richard, as long as we have plants in the ground by mid-June at the latest.
Yeah.
All right, well, can you get
And
it,
this-
can you get it all ready for us for next Friday, Tommy, so we can plant on Saturday or something, next Saturday?
Who's on your board? Hemp board.
That hemp board was never,
Yeah, hack or something, yeah.
So then we're gonna need to update our White Earth Industrial Hemp Code, because as it is currently written, there are limits to our growing and cultivating industrial hemp within the reservation boundaries. There is also a permitting process through that code, which is not currently in operation, and there are limited resources to allocate to a new permitting process in the time of COVID-19. We need to establish our long-term and short-term plans to effectively determine our budgetary needs. At a minimum, we can continue to engage with Mr. Westerman to complete the tasks listed above, except with an identified goal of having this complete in time for the 2021 growth season. This may require an extension to Mr. Westerman's contract unless all goals can be accomplished before his contract expires, but it would be most helpful for the work group in RBC to see what the proposed dollar amounts look like to keep this project moving forward. Then on the 13th of May, it says that White Earth was made aware of funding opportunities through the Native American Agricultural Fund, where tribes may seek funding for projects that examine business potential for investment in developing hemp production systems. Native American Agricultural Fund will only entertain applications in areas such as for partial funding for project feasibility and market analysis for emerging industrial hemp production, and value-added hemp production manufacturing analysis of transportation, testing, self-regulation, and regulatory planning, or develop of tribal plans authorized under the 2018 Farm Bill. The deadline to apply is June 1st of 2020. If we apply, we are and are awarded the funds. This would be a way to propel our industrial hemp project forward, especially in the 3 areas outlined above. So have you guys applied for any of that, Tom?
Yep, that's one of the things we're actually working on. I think we didn't want to commit to a project without knowing that we were going to be getting that type of funding. So that's why it came back to I just don't know how quick the turnaround time is for getting the application turned in, them going through selecting and awarding. Mm-hmm. So I mean, by the time that's all sitting down, we could be past the actual start of the planting season. So we're not wanting to commit to a project without knowing that we had that actual funding in place. So that's why to get started, it would make the most sense to have a financial commitment from the RBC saying we're going to, invest the $50,000 to purchase our starter plants now so we can get them in the ground, and then still continue to go after that other funding. It's just that we didn't know how quick we could, get that money turned around if awarded.
Tommy, can you have a lot more information for us on Friday's meeting so we can approve some stuff if we're going to move forward with this and get a
Friday for next week?
Yeah, for next Friday's monthly meeting. So, if we can.
Okay, yeah, we can start putting it together.
So if you guys can speed it up on some of this, but if not, I mean, bring it back to us, and if we can't do it, we can't do it. But like we talked before, council talked before, is like, I think this area of the industrial hemp and the CBG and the CBD, like with the COVID stuff, I think is very, kind of cutting edge, and it's kind of more medicinal to our people and being more healthy for, fighting this pandemic. Yep. So, but yeah,
okay.
If you get that,
the question I posed still then is the RBC committed to investing $50,000 of our own money to order the plant? That would be step one, is getting that, making sure that we have the funding to buy those starter plants. We have to be getting those ordered and getting them here in the ground in the next 3 weeks. Is that something we're ready to commit to?
Well,
where are you getting your seed from?
Richard has it in his plan, Kathy.
That's another thing too. You have to get a hold of Talberry and get his plan submitted so we can.
Okay.
I mean, it's not hard for us to approve the startup part of it. I mean, we can always approve that, and I know. Hopefully, we get reimbursed in the near future with the grant that we're applying for. I mean, all this to me is pretty positive stuff, and I know our membership is probably, if you look at Red Lake up north of us, they just approved their medical cannabis stuff that happened yesterday during their referendum. So, I mean, a lot of this hemp and medical is kind of coming through Indian country now, and I think it's a good time for us to look at it too economically. That we can, especially for us on the western part of Minnesota, right in the Farm Belt, that we should be the the pioneers of this too. We should be on the cutting edge of this. So that's my
We started 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and Kathy, I just want to say that Tom, the chairman was just saying on about Red Lake there back in February. I know the RBC, and I had mentioned it just before I left to Morocco, of trying to do medical marijuana. I wanted to put it on a referendum here in White Earth. So I was wondering if you guys could sit down with Veronica there and get that language put together, because I'd like to do our own referendum in August there, because I know the people will probably vote for that, just like they did up in Red Lake,
Okay.
So, I mean, could you work with Veronica on that and get that language ready by next Friday?
Yeah.
So we could take a look at it.
Yeah. I know she's out on PTO, and Liz, I'm not exactly sure how long she's out on PTO. Do you know that, Liz?
Yeah, she'll be back on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get together next week and try to hammer some stuff out.
That'd be pretty progressive for our tribe.
Okay. And then Kathy, just to go back and answer your question, I believe you asked where the plants were coming from.
5 years?
In Richard's estimate, they're coming from the International Hemp Exchange in Boulder, Colorado.
That's where the seeds at? Okay.
All right.
Hey, Tom, I got one other thing for you.
Okay.
We got down here at the Rice office down here, we got a bunch of money and some checks in there that I think maybe you should come and get out of there, so.
Okay. So, are we looking at bringing back any of the Wild Rice employees? Does anyone know offhand?
Are we talking about that today? Employees?
No.
I thought we had a big, I thought Nicole had a big employee, let's see one.
No, I think he's gonna bring it with, on the 28th with that.
All right.
Are they in the general
I
fund?
think next week we'll be discussing some of that, Tom.
Okay.
But
Yeah, because if we're going to move forward with the Wild Rice business, it's imperative that we have somebody on site, you know, at all times to make sure they're overseeing the daily operations of it.
Well, because I know maintenance has been taking care of it now, and they got a shitload of money in that drawer down there and stuff, because they don't want to be responsible for it, so come get it, make a deposit or whatever you have to do.
Did they
Or
get
have,
signed?
or have,
Okay.
what's your name? Sandra go get it. Mertens. All right, thanks,
Okay.
Tom.
Well, we'll get it figured out. All right, thanks, everyone.
Yep.
Is that on, good to go? I don't know, we're gonna push him.
Oh, I can text him. Are you going to get him or no?
Who?
You? Wait, oh.
Who's Scott?
Is it too early for a break? Go on break? Yeah, we'll take a little break. Be right back. 10 minutes.
Maria, will you call me?
Yes, I will, Kathy.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.